Yes, guys, it's episode 6 of the Bikini Insider. We are 1 week out from the Arnold's season, about to kick off very soon. I'm here with our co-hosts, Marnie and Kerry, IFBB Pros. And today, of course, with the Arnold's next week, we've got to bring in another one of the Arnold 2025 competitors. Let me give you a little rundown. 2019 is when she won her pro card, but let's talk 2024 because that was the breakout year. Third place at the Arnold's in Ohio. What did she do? She flew across the pond, across the Atlantic, over to UK, hit Birmingham, and hit it hard. She got the Arnold UK bikini win, first place. Then back over to stateside for the Olympia, having placed 12th the year before. She broke into the top 5 at Olympia 2024. Decided not to end it there because she did go down to Brazil and got the Olympia Brazil win. I ain't forgetting that show either. I see that trophy. It's a big trophy. Vania Auguste, welcome to the show. You're officially 1 week out from the Arnolds. How are you feeling?
Thank you guys for having me, and thank you for hosting this. I'm feeling good. I'm tired, obviously. It's 1 week out, but I'm feeling really good.
So before I pass over the girls, but I'm sure I've got plenty of questions as well. I've got to ask as well. Laura Lee's dropped out. We still got Amy. We still got Jazz. So we've got some big hitters there of the show. I'm gonna go straight out here. What's the goal going into the Arnolds 2025 after taking third in 2024?
Of course the goal is to win, but I also like to be realistic with myself. As long as I move up a spot, I feel like I'm already a winner. So last year I was third. Getting top 2 is going to be like amazing for me. Of course, I want to win. I want to be first place, but I don't want to be in that mindset where, like, if I don't get that first place, I fall into this dark season. I don't want that. So top 2 for sure. Like, I really want to be the top 2 that battled it out, and then at final, whoever they call for that first place, get that first place, but top 2 in God's name.
There you go.
Oh, I love that. I love that mentality because, like, I think obviously you need to have that, like, champion mindset of you crossing your T's, dotting your I's, but also not letting, the placement that perhaps maybe, I don't know, you've had shows where maybe you didn't get the result that you wanted, right, but clearly you've never let that define your journey because you've been freaking relentless, Vania. Like, you've been doing this for so long, and maybe you can talk about that journey that you've been on from winning your pro card. Am I right in thinking that your first pro win was the Nashville Fit Show?
Correct, it was.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about that journey then when you won your pro card to get into that first ever pro win? Because there might be some new pros that are listening, I'm sure, from the Beyond the Stage page that maybe they, want some advice or on how to navigate that kind of journey.
I'm interested to hear it all. I want to know when you first started.
We can go back.
In how long it took you to achieve your first pro win. I want to hear it all.
We're going to be here for a while then. Well, I started competing in 2015. I think 2015 I did one show. In 2016, same thing. I moved to Tennessee. My first show was actually in Brooklyn, New York. And then I moved to Tennessee. Big change, from like super diverse city to not so diverse. So I had to navigate in Tennessee. And of course, the community in bodybuilding there was super small in comparison to now. But I did a show in Tennessee, and it was my first taste of winning because when I did my first show in Brooklyn, I got 7. I think it was 7 out of 9, something like that. But in Tennessee, of course, the community was smaller. I won all my classes except for the overall, and it kind of lit a fire under me. Like, okay, I can do this. Like, I have the genetic for it. And then I started competing and looking into nationals. My first national show was 2017. Can't remember really the year, but it was Junior USA in May. and I got last call out. I was the girl all the way at the end. Like if I walk off stage, Sandy wouldn't even realize that I walk off stage. I was that girl. But at that time also the mindset wasn't there. I was in like the vicious cycle of like cheating on your diet and then the next day trying to like compromise with extra cardio and just keep going. And of course with my culture, like being Haitian, you know, you think you lean until you get to the show and then you realize, oh, this is a different level, you know, like it's not the same level as the local show that I did in Tennessee. Like the girls take it up notch. And my first show that I did it with, actually, my mom went to that show with me. It was her first show that she attended. And going to the show, I remember her saying, like, "You so tiny, Vania, you so small." And then to get to the show, and then she realized like I wasn't the smallest. And it kind of gave her a different perspective. Like, okay, like this is a different ball game. So my first national I had last call out, and then my second national, which was North American that same year, I decided to actually be in it 100% and see where it would take me. And it was my first time getting first call out, and I placed 7. And you know, ladies, like getting that first call out, whether you're a pro or amateur, it's like, oh my God, I'm in it, you know? So that felt really good. Then after that, you know, I switched a couple of coaches. Well, I switched my coach. In 2018, I did one national show and one show. I did Universe for the first time, got third call out. That was that. And that's when things started getting like really more intense. They wanted to the girls to be more defined but full, not that skinny look anymore, that super lean look. In 2018, at the end, after Universe, I did a show in Tennessee. It was that time I was in between. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to be bikini or if I wanted to do figure. Because from before, the feedback always been come in leaner or bring your legs down, right? Because I was always like, I had the genetic, I had big legs, I had excuse my language, I had a booty, okay, not glutes. I had a booty. I had a little bit of muscle, but I had a booty. I had a Haitian booty. So, you know, it was constantly hearing, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. At that time, there was no wellness. So it was either bikini or figure, right? And then, of course, upper body was muscular, but my lower legs, I just couldn't get it. So in 2018, I decided to do both. I did figure and bikini. I won both overall for both category. Yeah. But when I got off the stage, I was like, I am a bikini girl. You don't even have to say that. I made it that day, that decision. I was like, I'm going to stick to bikini. And I fought for bikini because if I had listened to other people, I could have been a figure pro because I know I have the genetic. But I really love bikini. I really love the posing. I really love the look at that time. I just remember like asking myself, okay, what do I need to do to actually fit the criteria? Because I really like the training. I really like the look. So I started changing my cardio protocol. I started running in the morning instead of just walking on the treadmill or the elliptical. The Stairmaster, I did like more intervals versus just stepping on it. I just a couple of things that I took more serious going to my pro card. And in 2019, I went again to Junior USA. And then this time I got first call out, super excited. And then I placed 6. So right outside of top 5. And then later on, like a month later, I went to do junior nats and I won my pro card. So even like thinking about that, like when I did Junior USA, like that 1 month apart, like I was 6 going to junior nats. My whole goal was placing higher than 6. Like I didn't care if I got first or second. I just I wanted to be top 5. That was the goal. And then getting there and getting that first place, that pro card was like the icing on the cake, even like, oh my God, I did it. And then after pro card, things was like a little bit rough because now you got to figure out yourself. Like you're a pro, you're trying to really know like your style, your routine. The training is a little bit different. My first year in 2020 was COVID year. So that one was like a little bit rocky because not that many shows. Some of the show were like all over the place. I remember in 2020 I did New York Pro in Tampa. I did Chicago. Yeah, it was like one of those years. I did Chicago Pro in Atlanta. Like it was just one of those years. Like they tried it, but I had started my season early in 2019, so I was one of the girls that had points. So we had points at that time for the Olympia. So I was one of the girls that had points leading on to the Olympia. Like I was one of the girls that had the most point because after my pro show, after I got my pro card, I did Chicago Pro again. Got whooped. It was my pro debut. I got third call out. It was a different look also because you know you go into that same mentality that I need to be lean, and then you get to the pro league, the girls are bigger, they fuller. You're like, oh wait, hold on, this is completely opposite. Like the look was completely different. After Chicago Pro, I know I did San Antonio. I placed top 3. Then I went to the Philippines. I competed. I placed top 3. I went to Colombia. I placed top 4. So that kind of like racked on my points. And then COVID happened. So a lot of shows shut down. And then they had a few shows that was there, but I already had like maybe like 6 points at that time. But Chicago Pro was the last show to qualify in Atlanta, and I had 9 points. And then this girl that was behind me, she had 8 points. And I was the girl that made, at that time, it was just top 5 in points would be qualified for the Olympia. We did Chicago Pro together. Did not get first call out. She got first call out. She placed top 5, got 2 points, bumped me down.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
what
like
a journey.
it was like so close. Like, of course, I went back to my hotel room, like cry, like, oh my God, like, do I really want to do this? But looking at it back then, maybe I wasn't ready for the Olympia. Maybe it was a sign. Maybe it was a sign also for me to like keep going, and that's where like my character got built up, because it's kind of like it's tough being so close to something, like so close, and then knowing right after prejudging that this not happening, and I still had to come back for final and act like everything is perfect and peachy, knowing deep down like I am hurt. So when that happened, it was just like, geez, I got so close. I can't give up now. Like, I got so close. So 2021 revamp, got a new coach. It was that time where I was with Ryan Hinton. Said his name wrong. I might be saying it still wrong. Sorry, Ryan. I love you. Team Legacy. I was with Ryan, and then again, it was the same time where I just thought about everything: training, my protocol, my diet protocol, my cardio protocol. What can I change? And I noticed that certain things I was not taking care of. Like I wasn't going to a chiropractor. I wasn't getting massages. I was not taking recovery serious. So cardio was the same. Nutrition was a little bit different. Training was a little bit different. But I really took like body work very serious at that time. And I was on the road. I was like, I'm going to get on that stage. I'm going to be on to the Olympia. Because in 2020, when I didn't get to Olympia, I went to watch the Olympia. It was my first time going to the Olympia. It was in Orlando. It was the first time they moved it to Orlando. It was in December. Everybody got sick because COVID was there, but no one cared. I went to watch the Olympia, and I remember when I was watching that prejudging, I told myself, I said, I'm going to be on that stage next year. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be on that stage next year. And that's what we did in 2021. Unfortunately, I did not win any show in 2021, but I did 11 shows. The first 5 shows, I was placing top 10. So that was like a good thing for me, because during COVID year, I know that I got lucky because not that many people were competing. So I was able to get that top 5 quick. I wasn't really facing any of the top athletes versus 2021, I was actually doing big show. I did Clash was one, Washa was one. A couple of them was where like Ashley Kidd was competing. Like the top girls were competing at that time. So being in the top 10 felt amazing. But I remember after my fourth show, I'm like, okay, something got to change. I need to change my mindset, change something. And it was my mindset. Like, I did a show in San Diego. And I remember how, like, everybody were talking about, I think it was Ashley. It was Ashley was coming. Ashley's coming. She's going to win. And to myself, I said, well, I'm coming too.
I love that.
Changed. I was like, I'm a top dog too. I might not be a top dog to everybody else. I'm a top dog too. And I just remember like saying that to myself over and over and over and over. And that show was the first show I got first call out in 2021. I got first call out. I was in the middle with Ashley K. In my head the whole time, I'm like, what is going on? Is this top two? What is going on? And Sandy was judging. Sandy was like, Ashley and Vania stepped to the side. I'm like, oh, this is happening. This is really happening. And I remember like calling one of my friends. I was like, I think I'm top two. She was like, no way, shut up. I'm like, girl, I think I'm top two. And then it was since then that something different, like my mindset was different. I placed second to Ashley Kidd, and placing second to Ashley Kidd was like, oh my God, like it definitely made my career because I was compared to the Ashley Kidd and getting second place in front of Sandy Ashley. It was just like, okay, this is what I was meant to do. Like I can do this, right? Mindset is everything. And then I just went on from there. I have been in the top 5 every single time.
That's incredible.
Every time. I did. There was a time where I played. Go ahead.
I just said I'm speechless. Like this journey is just wow. Yeah. Like I'm so inspired just hearing everything. It's crazy. Yeah.
You have to keep going. You just have to be like, okay, I did this. I can do better. You know. I placed top 5. Well, I've been in the first call out the whole time. I placed top 5. I qualified for the Olympia in points. And even when I qualified for the Olympia, this time I was the girl with the most points. So no one can bump me out at all. And even the last show that I did, which was Powerhouse in Michigan, but Laura Lee did that show also. And Laura Lee was already qualified for the show, for the Olympia, but she wanted to get in front of Tyler. And I remember going to that show, I had the same mindset. I was like, well, Laura Lee's coming. I'm coming too. Like in my head, like, I'm coming too. Like people might not care about me, but I'm coming too. But I did that show to be next to Laura Lee, to be compared next to her. But I was already qualified. I placed top 4. I got more points. And then I did my first show I was qualified for my first Olympia. Imagine being qualified for your first Olympia and you're the first girl to open the show. Yeah.
Oh, girl.
That was me in 2021.
Because our surnames both begin with A. So I totally feel you on that because I had the same when I did my pro debut in Pittsburgh and I was the first one out and it was like so
you probably went over it in your head over and over, like this is how I'm gonna open the show. Like I have to step up my game. Like I prepare myself so much for that for the Olympia, but I also realize that I'm always gonna be either first or third when it comes to the pro because of my last name. So I'm getting used to that. Honestly, when I see the list come out and I'm not first, I'm like, damn it, man, I want to open the show now. Whereas before I was like biting my nails. But yeah, my first Olympia was amazing. I got third call out. And then 2022, I got qualified for the Olympia. That's when I got my first win at Nashville Fit Show. In 2022, it wasn't easy either. I did 8 shows. Olympia was my 8th during that year. So I wasn't chasing show in 2021 as I was in 2022. I was more specific and more strategic with my show versus 2021. I felt like oh, I placed top 10. There's a show 2 weeks. Let me go and see if I can place higher. And then I'll place 8. And I'm like, oh, there's another show. 2022, I was more careful about the show that I picked. Nashville Official was my 6th show of the year. And I was tired by that time. Again, it was 6th show. All 6 show before Nashville, I was placing in the top 5. I was either 4th or 5th. Like, like I was close, but not good enough. So it was just like pretty like, I was disappointed at myself. And I remember going into Nashville Fit Show, I was like, I can't let like my community down. Like I have to bring it for my community. Like I just remember being tired and I'm like, no, I'm doing this for my community. I'm doing this for Tennessee bodybuilding because this is also the show before the year before that when I did that show, Jennifer Dory won it in 2021. So like winning the title, I'm like, oh my God, that's pretty big. She wasn't doing it also. She had already qualified. So I was the top contender to win the show. So I was like, I have to. Like, I had a feeling that I was going to win the show, but at the same time, I knew that I was going to bring the best that year. Like, I just knew, like, things was different. And then it was actually against Amy. It was between me and Amy at Nashville Fit Show in 2022. And mind you, Amy had just won Chicago Tampa 2 weeks before, like big show, and I had to go against Amy. And when Sandy called my name for first place, of course, the tears dropped. And it felt amazing winning in your hometown in front of your community, your friends and family. It was I will never forget that moment at all.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Like it hits different because I won my pro card at a UK show. It wasn't like in another European country, and I'm sure you probably had the exact same feeling almost of like maybe you had posing clients there and like people in Tennessee that have come in to watch the show, and it's so special, isn't it? Do you feel like, because I feel like we need to talk about your reaction when you won the UK Arnold as well, because I tear up when I watch that video every time. We were there, weren't we?
Yeah, we were there.
Were you? Yeah. I remember Marie said she was there. Yeah, it was different. Nashville, I don't know. I knew it was between me and Amy. I was like maybe 50% sure that I was going to win. And I was calm about it. But I felt the excitement. In UK, I felt like I've been working really hard, and I also felt like maybe the judges are not really seeing me. When I say judges, I mean like all the panel, not just Sandy, because I know Sandy is a big fan of my physique. I was just thinking just judges in general. I'm like, I don't think they see the hard work that I put in. I don't think they see that I've been at it. I've been climbing. I've been like, you guys give me feedback. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on it and I'm coming back. I don't give up that easy. So at UK with, when they did comparison at finals, when they did comparison with top 4, it was so quick. I was like, oh my God, this is so quick. They already made up their mind. What is going on? And Tara looked amazing. I mean, I told her on Friday or Thursday when we had the athlete meeting, I was like, are you ready to get in that top 5 with me? And she was like, girl, what? I'm like, watch. And she ended up being top 2. But before they announced the winner, I was holding Tyra's hand and she was shaking. Like we both were like nervous, but she was really shaking. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. At that moment, ladies and gentlemen, I made peace with myself. It was like, if I get second, I guess I have to work harder to show the judges, the panel, that I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep working hard, So I made peace that moment that if I get second, I'm going to be okay. I just have to keep going harder. I need to go back to my protocol and see what I need to change. So when they said Vania, it was like, holy shit, this is really happening. Like, like, you know, I felt seen, not just by like the judges, but the audience. And I think it was the audience that made me cry more, because I was already crying when they said Tara second. I was crying and standing. But when Bob officially said like when he used his name and then the audience screamed, yeah, that felt that it was different. It was just like being loved by people that really don't know me.
I think we all felt it. You felt it in the audience.
Yeah.
I can't explain it any way different to that. It was like, it was deep. It was so good to see. Oh.
Have we lost her?
I was like, it's so good to see, and she vanishes.
Her screen is still there. Well, she still showed up on here.
Hello.
I'm here.
There she is.
You disappeared.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Kerry,
yeah.
what were you saying?
UK was different. It was just like I felt seen by the judges. I felt seen by everybody else. You know, it's one thing to be seen like in the US, you know, with people around you. You know, your family and friends, they always think you should be first, like no matter what. They super biased, right? Even your coach be like, you got this. But when you away and you just by yourself, different community, and then feeling that much love, that's what I felt. And it was just like, God, like this audience didn't know anything about me, but they welcomed me as their winner. That's what I felt like. That was different.
It's so special.
Such a big show to win though, as well. Like that is such a statement show to win. Like that must have felt amazing, especially like given the journey of how it's kind of been throughout your pro career. And it just does go to show, doesn't it, that you can place like last and low and come up if you keep going, which I think is pretty similar to how I feel, to be fair. So I feel like I can relate to that. And that gives me a lot of inspiration personally, seeing you go to that level.
Oh, no, we can't hear you.
Well, while she's just fixed that. So that the Arnold last 2024. Oh no, Vania, we still can't hear you. Because at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
That's better.
Yeah, now I can hear you guys. I wasn't able to hear you guys.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't even know what I said now. I think I said like it's inspiring to see how like your journey has been, and you won a pro show, great, but then you went on to win something real big. Given like the whole journey that you've had, like that gives me inspiration, because that's kind of similar to how mine's been. I've only won one show, but I'm still like, I want more.
Right.
See you do that, and you haven't been someone that's just stepped in and won straight away. That is inspiring, to be honest.
I think it's just setting goals and realistic goals for yourself. We are confident in ourselves. We know what we can accomplish, but I don't want to be like for example, Olympia 2024, right? I had a few people that are like, "You're going to win. You're going to do this and stuff." I'm like, of course I want to win though. Who doesn't want to win though? That is the ultimate goal. But 2022, I got 12. From 12 to first, that is a big jump. I mean, I'll have to do like move the moon and the earth. That's a big jump, you know. And I'm not just talking about physique wise. There's so much that goes on beside physique, right? So I knew like going into Olympia in 2024, the goal was I want to aim higher. Like I want to do better than 12. I want to be in the top 10. I want to be in the top 5. That was the goal.
Where was your...
I was realistic with myself. Like,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It cut off for me, and I just started talking. I was going to say, where was your personal goal for your first Olympia?
My first Olympia was to get third call out.
Right.
Yeah. My second Olympia was to get top 15. That didn't happen. I got third again. And then my third Olympia was definitely to get that second call out, to be in that second call out. Yeah. And then the most recent Olympia, I just remember saying, like, I just want to be in the first call out. Like, give me a chance to fight with the other girls. And I think that's, as an athlete, we all want that. Like, put me in the mix with the big girls. You know, put me in the mix with the top girls. That way, as an athlete, I can also tell, like, what I need to work on.
Yeah, that's the goal, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's what you want.
Because I want to be compared with the best of the best in the sport.
Yeah.
You know? And in 2024, I was not in that first call out when they did the first call out. I was on the side when they did top, I think the first call out was top 8. I was on the side. And just like in that moment, I fell down for a second. I was like, no, it's not over. Like, cheer up, smile, keep it together. And then I think Cindy moved the top 4 on the side, and then she started calling more people. And then she called me, and I was like, this is my chance. Like, I knew, like, when she called my name, it was a game on 1,000. On 1,000. And then when she changed, when she put me in the middle, well, she moved me more like in the center. I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I'm fighting for this. I mean, my whole body. Yeah, it felt so amazing. And then to be called again, because it was like top 4 and then another top 4 confirmation, to be called again, it was just like, at that moment, I knew that I accomplished my goal. Like, I definitely got up to that top 10. Like, I'm no longer top 12. I'm in the top 10 now. Now, later on, we figure out that I got fifth, top 5, you know? But it's always about setting, like, realistic goals. We always want to be a winner, but, like, I want to go up. Like, I don't mind working my way up gradually.
Yep.
I feel like each time that I go up, I learn something different about myself. I learn something different about the sport, and it builds up my character where I can stay longer in the sport. Because I feel like if I had like a easy like journey, or like I had success early on, I don't think I'll be competing right now. I don't think my mindset will be different. I will be the same as it is right now, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think it teaches you a lot of like resilience and mental fortitude, and that's why you're still here doing as well as you are, I think, because you've been forced to like face those challenges early on. I was just going to ask you, Vania, like, how do you keep that composure then between like the pre-judging and the finals when like you think you're in the mix, you don't know what the outcome is? Like, how would you like talk us through that? Because like I can't begin to imagine how hard it is to like, you want to keep your composure, you want to keep calm, like you want to still come back and bring even better at finals. Like, how do you manage that?
Well, for the Olympia, I can say right after pre-judging, I was excited because, again, I was in the first call out, the guy in the first call out, kind of move in the middle. You know, that first pre-judging, I landed in that top 5. And then when Cindy did a confirmation at the end before pre-judging ended, it was between me and Ashlyn. So just getting off that stage, I was like, I just crushed my goals. Like, I wrote down in my note before, like, you know, in my journal that I want to be top 10, top 5. And I knew that I was in that, like, top 10 or top 6, right? Because it was between me and Ashlyn. When I get off stage, I try to talk to my coach, like, who do you think got it? And he's always like, nope, we're not doing that. Go back to your room, rest. This is what I need you to eat and stuff. But my best friend, Sierra, I would text her and I'm like, so what do you think? And she does the same thing too. She would like kind of evaluate both physique, you know, like Ashlyn has this, you have that, you guys are like, she would like tell me like straight up, and I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. And then I'll go back to my room, stick to the plan, rest, listen to some music, and then hopefully at final I bring a better package. But I always look up to the other girl that's next to me, you know. Again, I want to be realistic. Like when it was between me and Ashlyn, I was like, ooh, Ashlyn hamstring looks good. You know, like it's like things that's like, this is real stuff. It's not, I'm not gonna be like, I look better than her. I don't care. I look better than her. It should be me. I try to be very realistic and look at the person and be like, okay, what do they have that I don't have? You know, if it goes that way, you know, and then if it does, then I understand, okay, I got sixth place because her hamstring was better. You know, I got sixth place because maybe I wasn't tight, you know, like things like that, you know. So I try to go like back like that. And then for finals, it's like whatever happened, it's in God's hand at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I can relate to that a little bit with like my season last year. Even when I was just about to win, it was kind of like I was looking at the other person and I was like, well, if she was to win, like I could take that because I know she's got good this and good that and good this. I think like you can't, it's not like you're literally against, it's like in someone else's hands. So you've got to just be like, as much as you can be like hurt by any result or like whatever, obviously happy in that case in the Olympia, of course. But I think, it's one of them you have to just and show up again. If it's
you have to show up.
Yeah.
I think you have to show up, and you also have to give credit to the person, like the athlete that's next to you too, because they work just as hard. They probably had a harder journey than you. You know, you don't know what they went through to get to that spot. You know,
100%.
So like respecting them and being like, okay, like if this person win, it was fair, like fair and square. I mean, sometimes we're like, okay, it wasn't fair, it was this and that. But in that moment, you kind of take a step back because you like, that could be me in that person's place. And I know how hard I work. So I can only imagine what they did.
Exactly. You know? That's the thing. I even had someone say to me, it was the second that I got. And the girl who won, Pata, I want to say her name was, she said to me when we came off, she said, it was pretty much like, oh, you should have won this. You've been going for this like longer than, and I was like, no, I was like, absolutely not. I was like, you've just won. Like, no, like you deserve this. Like, I don't know what you've been through, but like you deserve it wholeheartedly. And I think you always, even have that kind of, like, I've thought that. I look at the other girl, even when I won, and I'm kind of like, oh, you could have won that. You probably should have won. It's just one of those, isn't it?
It's the same thing like at UK also. Like Tara could have won it. You know, she brought like, she looked amazing, you know? And I'm like, I love Tara. I know her. I love her. I love her personality. So like when it's like, especially it's hard because when it's like between you and your friend, you're like, I want this for myself, but I want it for you too. And I understand that if you win, there's a reason why you won. You know, like all respect to you. Like I can't get mad at this person. Like I didn't make the decision. The judges made the decision.
That's it.
I was just gonna say, like, I think that's what I really love. Like for me, since I came into the pro league and like started meeting so many amazing athletes in the States and whatever, like you really do get that sense of like camaraderie between all the girls because it's like there's a mutual respect there because we've all turned pro and we've all worked our way up, and I really get that impression, and you could really see that between you and Tara as well, like when it was between you guys, and it's like you want it for each other, and like I think as well, like we all know that like it could go anyway, and when it's someone's time, it's their time, and everyone wants to celebrate for them, and then the next show it's going to be somebody
turn. Else. You just never know. You just never know. So you have to
Vania,
appreciate it.
Let's talk about 2025. I'm going to talk to you like the top 5 Olympian that you are, because you come across very humble, you know, which I love it. But I'm going to talk to you. You came top 5 at Olympia 2024. You got 2 pro wins in the Arnold's UK and Brazil, and you came 3rd in the second biggest show of 2024, which is the Arnold's Ohio. You've talked about the fact that when someone places above you, you look at what have they got that's better than you. So let's look at the Arnold 2025. You're going there as, let's face it, one of the favorites because you're a top 5 Olympian. You came 3rd at the Arnolds. That's one thing you have to accept now. The success you had in 2024 puts you on a higher pedestal above other bikini competitors. So my question for you is, with Laura Lee unfortunately out of the picture, and we look at Amy, we look at you, we look at Jazz, what are you bringing to the table come the Arnolds next weekend, which you feel could give you the edge to potentially start the season with a huge win in Ohio?
I am bringing more conditioning. Consistency is what Sandy called it. When I won Arnold UK and when I went to Brazil, the condition was a lot tighter. And Sandy loves that look on me. So that's exactly what I'm going to bring. At the Olympia, I was tight, but she likes when I'm a little bit tighter, just a little bit more. I don't want to say more on a dry look, but when I'm a little bit tighter, I can eat more and I look fuller on stage. So she loves that look. And that is exactly the look that we are going to bring, because we realize that she likes it in Arnold UK. And at Brazil, that was the same look that we brought, and she loved it. So that is exactly what we're bringing.
And the best posing game as well, because we need to mention that the fact that you have so much, I don't even know what the word is, the sass is there, the moves. Yeah, we absolutely love it. Do you feel like that is one of your biggest strengths? Like,
yes,
when you're on stage, to stand out?
Yes. Posing is, I've loved posing. Before bodybuilding, I was a dancer. I dance, I minor in dance. So being on stage, it's like, it brings me back to like when I was a kid and I was a dancer and just performing. I always tell people that like posing for me is not just posing. I'm not doing my routine when I go on stage. I am performing. Like when I get off stage, I want people to be like, can she do that again? I want to like, can she come to like, what just happened? Wow. You know, like, it's not like you looking at me hitting my front pose and my back pose. It should be like, oh, that looks so good. You know, like you start getting chills. Like when somebody starts playing the piano and you feel it, that's what I want people to feel like when I pose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We definitely feel that.
I just want to go back to one thing, because you've talked a lot about that Sandy is a big fan of your physique. So I just want you to talk about that when you're getting the feedback on, you know, your continual development. Is there like regular communication between yourself and like Sandy, who is obviously the biggest name on the female judging? I want to use the example, like for example, a lot of the guys, when they want to, when they step on stage, before they step on stage, they normally go and see Steve Weinberger over at Bev's gym, you know, get seen by him, just like what Ali Balal's just done before he heads to Ohio. Ryan Terry did it before the Olympia. Went over to Steve to make sure that he's on the same, you know, he's on the right direction. You know, is he doing everything right to give that extra percentage to ensure he gets the right result? Do you do anything like that, similar to what those guys do?
Not with Sandy. I mean, the only time I see Sandy is at shows, because she's all the way in California and I'm all the way in Tennessee. So I don't even send her, like, email her my front post or anything like that. But the reason why I say Sandy like my physique is because whenever Sandy give me a feedback, and not just Sandy, all the judges, whenever they give me a feedback, I make sure I do my homework. And I've noticed that when I do my homework, I get rewarded for it, especially in front of Sandy. Like if Sandy tell you come in fuller and she see that you came in fuller, she will reward you for that fullness. Even if you don't get that top 5, when she gives you feedback, she'll be like, oh, you came in fuller than last week. I love that, you know? So that's why I say Sandy is a big fan of my physique, because when she give me feedback, I do my homework and then she always say, okay, you did good, or Vania, this was too lean. But they didn't have any road to the Arnold this year, so that's why I didn't go to Pittsburgh. But if they usually do, I will. I did go one time in 2023 where I did road to the Olympia. But in 2024, it was so busy. I was so busy with traveling. The schedule was booked, so I didn't get to do that. So yeah, I think it's all about like listening to the judge, not just Sandy. Because although like we get feedback from Sandy, we all do it. We're like, okay, I want to get feedback from Tyler. I want to get feedback from Bill. I want to get feedback from the other one. It's almost like you want to see like other judges saying the same thing. Do they want something a little bit different? And then I respect what they telling me, because again, it's a job for me, it's a job for them. And sometimes it's hard. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Vanya. Go ahead, finish what you're gonna say.
I think sometimes it's hard when we get feedback from judges, especially when you think you bring the best physique, like your best package, and then the judge is like, you can come in tighter, or something's off. You're like, what? I thought I was on, It's like kind of hard pill to swallow, but like when they give you that feedback at that moment, sometimes you can't see it, and it takes you about a week to go back. You look at your pictures and you're like, oh, they're right. Something was off. Because remember, once a judge see you at your best, they want to see you like that and better. That's it. You do not have room to get lower than that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was just going to ask you there, like, obviously taking on board feedback and things like that. Do you find that how do you then, you still working with Kim, right, as your coach?
Yes.
So do you find that how does that dynamic work then, the collaboration? Is it like a collaboration with Kim, like where you guys back and forth over the protocols, or do you kind of just let him do it, kind of do the thinking, and then you just execute? How does that work?
I think he does it mostly. I just let him do it. There are times where I'm like, okay, maybe we can try this. And he's like, okay, let's give it a try. But most of the time, he's the captain of the ship. I just listen. There are actually times where he'll be like, go ahead and have a refeed or a treatment. I'm like, no, I don't want it. And he's like, you trust me, you need it. And then I'll have it. And then the next day I look 10 times better. So sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to my coach. But I would say it's 70-30. He does listen to me. Like if I bring us some options, like for example, sometimes I can't digest egg white. So I'll swap it for something more simple like tilapia. He's totally okay with that. So he's not that type of person that's like, no, egg white is on your plan, so you need to eat egg white. So he's pretty flexible. He listened to me, but he's the captain of the ship.
I think that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
Vania, so we got the Arnolds next week. What is your 2025 season looking like? Because like I said, 2024 was an incredible year for results. So now with 2025, what does that roadmap look like for that year?
So we definitely have Arnold on the schedule. We have Pittsburgh on the schedule. We have New York Pro. Nice. New York Pro is a little bit different because I studied in Brooklyn. So I am going in New York Pro with a mindset of winning the show 100%. I mean, it's in Jersey, my family, my friends, my hometown the whole community can come. So I'm hoping to not end the season with New York Pro, but New York Pro and then Olympia. But New York Pro will be my last show, and then we rest until the Olympia.
Amazing.
Solid shows, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it.
I've got to throw this because obviously with Olympia, I say around the corner, it's still far away. But
it's around the corner.
In the UK, we do have one of our own in Kerry Sexton, who is obviously qualified for the Olympia for the first time. So I'll throw the question, because I'm sure that you probably get advice from loads of people, but I'll ask the question for new Olympians like Kerry, who go to the first Olympia in 2025. You've been to numerous Olympias now, you're top 5. What one piece of advice would you give to somebody who's going for Olympia the first time, that it might be around something that they probably won't expect because they've not been in that environment?
I would say definitely enjoy that time. Like your first Olympia gonna be like one experience that you can't take back. Enjoy it. Like if you want to do photo shoot, set up that photo shoot. Meet and greet. If you want to bring stuff to sell, even if you don't know if people are going to come to your table, bring stuff. Because I was shocked my first Olympia, 2 people bought my pictures. I was like, what? You guys want my pictures? You don't know who I am? just, I don't want to say go all out, but really enjoy the time and have fun, because you don't know if you're going to be qualified again, because we all got to re-qualify again for the next year. So if you want to do that photo shoot, if you want to bring stuff to sell at the table to give to your fan, enjoy that, you know, like really enjoy like just the experience itself. Like if you want to book like Gilco video to make sure you have all of that, it doesn't matter like the day how you come in, but you have those memories. You know, like really like pay attention to like who's around you, make that memory with them, because there are other people that are just as shy as you, are just like, okay, this is new, like how do I handle this, you know, like what's going on, like meet with these girls, like try to have that conversation. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I think that's like the main thing. Like if you're sitting next to someone on that table or behind you, introduce yourself, because you just never know, like in the long way, maybe I don't know, 6 months later, you guys are the same show together, you know? Just like enjoy that moment. Enjoy that moment. But don't sleep on yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
like it's like I'm
it's
new to this, but I know, like knowing that you bringing the best, your best physique today. You know, you should feel really confident about that. The placement, no, that's something different. But like going in there knowing that you like listen to your feedback, you did your homework, and you know, like when you step on stage, when you see those pictures, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I did my homework, I look good. That's what it's all about.
I think that's great advice for new Olympians. I think it's great advice for new pros. I think it's great advice for people that are just starting to compete, because I think
Yes,
that applies really. Like when you say like put yourself out there, like speak to people, network. Like Vanya, if I hadn't come up to you at Nashville Fit Show, like we would never have had a conversation. And like, yeah, just those are the things that I always remember most about the shows, is like it's the people that you meet and stuff, you know, as much as we're there to like do a job. If you bypass all of that, I think you miss out on so much. Like there's so much joy to be had. So yeah.
because you know it's a different. Yeah, because you know, like sometimes when you backstage, like you so focused, like when you're about to step on stage, right? It's a little bit different because everybody's so focused. Sometimes you're nervous, you're anxious. So you'll see the girls. Some girls are like super like serious, you know, they like in their mind, they focus. Some are listening to music. If you see myself, I'm probably dancing and talking to people around me. That's just how I feel relaxed. You know, I just like feel relaxed. And if I'm standing there, it's not gonna work. Like I'm gonna freak out more. I need to move around. I understand that. Like backstage is a little bit different. I would never, like if I see somebody backstage and they look super serious, I would never say, oh, this person is serious, because that's a different like mindset, because you're about to step on stage. But at the athlete meeting, you know, if I see you walking down the hallway, I think like just a hi, hey girl, how are you, how you feeling, you feel good, okay, let's do this. Because again, at the end of the day, we both know how hard it took us to get here.
I completely agree. Literally.
Yeah. Enjoy. Don't be stuck on that number to a point where like when you don't hit the number, you hear things like I don't know. Like I've never been to that point, and I hope I never get to that point where like you hear people say I didn't win, and then they go into depression, they have this dark time going on. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You are the top, you and an Olympian. Of course there are levels to it, but do you know how many people want to be on the Olympia stage? Do you know how many people want to be top 5? You know, like, do you know how many people want to get to the Arnold and get third and play and say I'm an Arnold UK champ? You know, so it's like you don't want to get stuck on that number where it's like, I'm going to get that first, I'm going to get that. And then you forget about everything around you. And then you don't get that first place. You don't get the, you know, whatever you wish for. And now you're beating yourself up, knowing damn well that you did everything you were supposed to do.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? As long as you can make it there, knowing that you have literally given your all, and then you can enjoy the experience.
Yes.
You can't ask for much more than that. That's definitely the mindset I'm going in with. I'm definitely shooting for, I want to say I'm shooting for top 10, top 15. Like, I know it's big, but I think for me, it's important to set that just so I have something to go for. But I'm not one of these people that ever goes into like depression or anything like that. I just know it's another stage to go for.
Yes, agree. I mean, in my 2022 Olympia, I didn't do as good as I expected, because 2022, I really wanted to be in like top 15, second call out. I got third call out again. And just looking at my looks, I did not like my look. I already knew, like, going to the show, my presentation, I try, you know, like when you there, you like, I gotta act, fake it till you make it. So I try, you know, I knew I didn't like my look. I got third call out. I wasn't happy about it. But I enjoyed that Olympia. Like that year, I enjoyed it. I made so many friends. I was at ease. I wasn't happy about my placement, but when I look at it back, like when I look at the pictures and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I deserve that third call out.
Yeah.
Now I need to work harder to be on that second call out.
And I think the thing is that you never regret your journey. Like, it's always taken me like a lot to get like somewhere, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because you're right in what you said about how it builds your character, your resilience. It inspires other people. And if you can do that, inspiring just one person, that means everything. And then, you know, deep down, eventually you will get to where you need to be or want to be, because you know you won't stop till you get there. It's just a matter of timing, and it's in God's hands.
Yep. Are you patient enough? That's the question. Are you patient enough? Because, you know, some people, they have it easy. I don't want to say they have it easy, but success come pretty easy to them. Or, you know, they took off. And then you, like, let's say it's you and your friend, like your friend took off, and then now you're left behind. You know, that can be a little bit heartbroken, but like, are you patient enough to keep working? You know, your friend is making success up there, and you like, you know what, that's okay. I'm just going to keep climbing and keep climbing. And that's my mindset. I'm just going to keep climbing.
100%.
I'll make it. I'll make it.
You never know your potential until you give it time. I like, if you look back to when you first started, if I look back to when I first started, Marnie, same. You never would think you would be where you are now. All of us, I'm sure, can say that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there was always going to be people that said you couldn't and you don't have the potential. And everyone thinks like, maybe I don't have the genetics or something, but only time will tell. If you don't
Only time. Just don't give up. Like, if this is what you really love and do, like, just keep going. You will find ways. You will find a way to evaluate your physique. You will find a way to change your protocol. If you have to change your coach, you know, like, there are ways to make it to the next level. But you have to be realistic with yourself. You have to be real with yourself first. You know, and I think that's another thing. Sometimes athletes get feedback from judges, they don't apply it. But expect better placement. That's not gonna happen. You know, or sometimes just you yourself, from looking at your presentation, you can tell a couple of things that you like, you know what, I don't like that. And if I saw that in somebody else, like on a different athlete, I wouldn't like it. So I need to change. I need to do those changes. So you really have to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up there. Next week, the start of the season, Arnold's US. It's such a shame that this time last year,
I'm excited. My heart is pounding down. You guys, you have motivated me.
Yes, girl, that's what we want.
We're just gutted that we don't have a Arnold's UK at the moment.
Oh my god!
Of course, this time last year,
the amount of requests. Hopefully next year, the amount of like requests and like question people, it's like, are you doing UK? I'm like, guys, there's no Arnold UK this year. They ask me all the time, like, if there was one, I'll be there 100%. Yeah, so hopefully next year.
Fingers
crossed.
Vania, best of luck for next weekend. We're all excited to tune in to the Arnold stream live and over the not just the day of the show, but even the build up. And then, of course, best of luck for your next large shows, Pittsburgh, New York, going back to your, where it all started in Brooklyn. So wishing you best of luck for 2025 season.
Thank you.
And, hopefully, if the Arnold UK comes back in 2026, we'll see you back here.
Yes. I just want to say one more thing. things like what you guys are doing, that motivate me. And I'm sure it motivate other athletes also. Like, because sometimes we are so like, I know I'm very humble, but you guys are like, come on, girl, you can do this. And that really motivate me. Now, I'm not gonna say like, hey, I'm gonna win, but it just give me another extra fire that today I'm going to crush my cardio because I spoke to you guys and y'all motivate me. So thank you for that.
You are honestly, Vania, you are such an amazing ambassador. You really, really are. Like, you teach us so many skills as well. Like, just speaking to you about your whole journey, I know there will be a lot of listeners that feel inspired listening, and yeah, it's amazing to chat with you and just find out little bits that maybe people don't know. So yeah, thanks
you.
for
has
Thank
been
you guys.
very inspiring, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you for motivating
Smash your cardio.
me. I know I motivate you guys. It's a two-way street for sure.
Yes.
Take care, Vania.
Have a good one, y'all.